Okay, so a recording has started. So, um, as in the last meeting, we were kind of doing the uh, week 5 sections, but we took a short break from that to look at Amir's homework. But I did ask you to, huh? Anyways, I did ask you to do uh, section 5 stuff on your own time. How did we feel? I think this is just my opinion. Loops are particularly straightforward, but if there's any sections that anyone had difficulty with, or one of the challenge activities that seemed kind of confusing, you got chapter 5 done. That's good. Okay, so if no one found any part of week 5 material confusing, we can move on to the labs now. And maybe if we have time left over, we could look at question 4 of Amir's homework, because we only looked at problems 1 through 3 in the last meeting. Okay, so I'll just move on to the lab. So I looked at all of them, and I picked 2 that I liked. So the 2 that I chose to unhide from you is 5.9 and 5.11. If it's okay with you guys, I'd like to do 5.11 first, because I think it's easier than 5.9. So you might find this one familiar. So 5.11 lab says print strings in reverse. This is exactly like, the reason I chose this is because it's exactly like one of the homework problems that Amir gave, right? So this one says, write a program that takes in a line of text as input and outputs that line of text in reverse. The program repeats, ending when the user enters done or D for the next line of text, right? So for every line that's outputted, we print it in reverse. It's exactly the same as the homework problem on Amir's homework, except that we have to do it multiple times, like this. So if they say hello there or hey, and then done, we output each individual line. So if anybody has the code from the homework that we did before, we could run off of that. You guys want to do that?
I do.
Okay.
Let me copy and paste it.
Okay. Do you want to share your screen for a moment?
Sure.
Copy paste. All right, I'll stop my share for a second. Give me one moment. I have to give you permission. Yeah, so basically what we're doing is, this is the code we wrote before, right? So what we got to do is have this apply to multiple lines.
So would we repeat maybe the 4 and change it every time?
Yeah, up until we find a line of input text that says done.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, but there is one problem, like, that I can foresee. Like, how would we keep calling this line of code until the
No, that's true.
I figure we could do a while loop.
yeah?
Like it'll first collect all the input and then we could run our function maybe? Or should we put it in between the function?
I'm sorry, could you
Or
repeat?
as mentioned, I was sort of wondering, I was thinking of placing a while loop
Mhm.
of like, oh, while this does not equal done, lowercase done, and D,
Yeah.
they would run. Do we put the function inside or outside just underneath?
But by function, what do you mean? Are you talking about the for loop that reverses the?
Yes, that's one that we have.
Yeah, the for loop would be inside the while loop. Yeah, and then we would also have to, while it's not done, we prompt the user to enter a line again, and keep entering lines until we do get done, right? So, give me one moment. I'm gonna keep your screen up, Miss Valerie Moore. I'm going to take
All
a
right.
screenshot of that.
No problem.
Okay. Uh, yeah. So, the lines of interest that we're really interested in is lines 9 through 12. Okay. All right. So now that I got that, thank you, Miss Moore. You can stop your share now.
Okay, thanks.
Perfect. So I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen again. And share. I'm gonna put this over here. Here. Oh. Yeah, I was just looking at the solution just to make sure like it would the solution we're thinking of is correct. So we're gonna do it the way that you said, Jose Garcia. So we're going to what we're going to do is we're gonna make a while loop, right? So, well, actually, I think the first thing we have to do is say we have to have a string, right? That holds the user's input. So string. What do you want to call the string? Just input or
Reverse?
reverse? Okay. And then we're gonna say we're going to use in order for the user to put this in, we're not going to use cin. We need to use get line because there's a possibility that strings might have spaces between, right? Okay, so in order for us to do this, we're going to need to include what was the library that included the getLine function again? I forgot. C++. Does anybody remember? Which library gave us the getLine function? Oh yeah, it is string. Thank you, Nawaf. Yeah, I just looked it up on my second monitor. It is string. So we're going to include string. Thank you. So after we declare our string variable, we're gonna go ahead and well, the while loop needs to check the string first to check if it's done before we can start iterating, right? So we're gonna say get line cin reverse like that. And then we can start making our while loop. And so Jose Garcia, we're gonna, like I said before, we're gonna use your idea. So you want to use a while loop, right?
Yeah.
Go ahead and tell me what to write. So while, while the input is not equal to done or lowercase done or d, right?
Yeah, I personally put like the reverse not equal double parenthesis or quotation mark capitalize done and then lowercase like O-N-E. Then I put the two parallel bars for or.
Oh, you mean like this?
Yeah. Because at the top it says if it's capitalized done, lowercase done, and then just lowercase d.
Oh, you're saying do it like this, right?
Yes.
Okay. I understand your logic, but
Oh, not like that. I meant like I kept putting reverse not equal to each of those things.
oh, okay. Yeah, I was gonna say that. Yeah, because I was gonna say that the double bars mean or, but you have to have clauses at as a first operand and a second operand. So if you just had done on its own, you like I get you're saying either done or done, but you would have to put this every time. Now, that's good. I like that logic, but here's one thing that I would change. I think instead of saying or, we have to say and. Because here's the thing,
But if we put and, if there isn't another done, wouldn't it not load then?
well, here's the thing. Let's say that the user enters done uppercase. So this would evaluate to be false, right? But what happens as a result is that this and this would both evaluate to be true. So we say false or true. When we have or statements, when we say false or true, it'll evaluate to be true, which means that
Wait, but I thought once the statement, like once it counters the first false, it stops the statement.
yeah, it would exit like yeah. It's just that
Quick question, can we just do a quick test then? Like just do a like see out it
yeah.
passed or whatever. And then we can just input the code like during in that developer mode thing.
Yeah. Yeah, we can do that. So yeah. I'll say the while loop has exited. I'll say here cout.
The while loop is on.
Sure. While loop. Yeah.
And then for the developer, or I guess it's fine too.
Yeah.
We could just put in done in the little inputs thing.
Yeah. Here, let's. program generated too much output.
Hmm.
Yeah, so the reason why this happened is because
Oh yeah, I forgot the ors. Just needs one true.
yeah, when it's or, only one of them needs to be true. So what we essentially made was an infinite loop, because in order for this loop to exit, the string we need to enter needs to be this and this and this at the same time. So it will never exit, because these three conditions are mutually exclusive. That's why we have to put ands instead. So if I put and like that, then it would work. Actually, why did it? Oh, it's because I'm not prompting the user to enter the next line. That's why. Because the entire time the string didn't change. My bad. So let me do the one with the ors again, and you'll see why ors wouldn't work. I'll run it. Okay, you know what? I think we have time. I'll just do this in Visual Basic, because I don't Visual Studio, because I don't know if this is.
But doesn't that prove your point though? Like, oh, it didn't work because of like how we had it, or at least how I phrased it.
Yeah. Okay. But hey, do we understand why ors would not work here, and we have to use ands?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, even yeah, they said in the chat that it has to work with. You have to use ands instead of ors. But that's good though. It's good that we went over this, because we're all learning. I like your logic though, Mr. Jose Garcia. We were just a little bit off. Okay, so let me get rid of this and this. Okay. I accidentally deleted my squiggly bracket, so let me just put that back. Okay. But we're very close to being done here. All we need now is to implement the for loop that allows us to enter the next. It allows us to reverse the string, right? So I'm gonna go off of the screenshot that I took from Miss Valerie Mora. So the way it works is that we have a for loop that works in reverse, right? So I'm gonna say for int I equals, now instead of saying name, we're gonna say reverse, right? Name minus 1. All right. Now remember, the reason why we have to put -1 is because the index of the last character of a string is always 1 less than the length of the string. I believe we went over that in the last section too. Now, for the conditional statement, we're going to say I is greater than or equal to 0. So as long as this statement holds true, we will continue doing the iteration. Now, This needs to be equal to. Now, the reason why we say greater than or equal to is because that's the inverse of less than, which is what we normally use. The equal to part captures the boundary that that the less than excludes. And then lastly, we say I minus minus instead of I plus plus, right? And over here, we're just gonna, I'm going off of Valerie Moore's code. We're gonna say cout, and instead of saying name, the string we're reversing is reverse. Dot at, like that.
Is that an I?
Huh?
Is that an I?
Yeah,
That reverse.
Yeah, it's I. I'll zoom in for you. Is that good?
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome. Now I think now this would work, but I think before we prompt the user to enter the next line, I think we need to put a line between. So say cout and line. That way all of our inputs are not on one line. Right. But I believe this will do it, right? So I'm gonna get rid of this and go to submit mode. So what kind of test does this have? So it has 4 different tests, right? So let's consider what would happen if we said, if we had these inputs, right? So what would happen is that we declare our string reverse and we get line. Reverse will be equal to hello there with a space between. Now, because hello there is not equal to done uppercase or done lowercase or done d, this statement evaluates to be true, so we will iterate, right? This will output the string in reverse, then we end the line, and then we prompt the user to enter the next string, okay? The next string we enter is hey. Now, because hey is not equal to hey, and it's not equal to, because hey is not equal to done uppercase, and it's not equal to done lowercase, and it's not equal to lowercase d, it'll still evaluate to be true. And then we will iterate again, and then we enter the next string, okay? Now, because the next string is going to be done, which is equal to one of these, which means that this statement here evaluates to be false. And what happens if we have a false that's ANDed with 2 other statements? It doesn't matter what the 2 other statements are. It's going to evaluate to be false, right? Now, because this conditional evaluates to be false, that's when we break out of the for loop, right? So I'm pretty confident that this will work. How many of you are confident that this will work? Say in the chat if you think it'll work. You think it'll work? Okay, great. Now, the only thing that I took from the for loop here was taken from the homework. The only things that we added was the while loop. But if we think it'll work, let's try it. Yep, it works. All right, perfect. So go ahead and screenshot this or put this in the your own Zybooks lab and do whatever it takes to get this. I will also post this video on Blackboard later. But yeah, this was good. We learned a lot here. Like, well, this we already knew. All we implemented was the while loop, right? That's the reason why I chose this lab. So did everyone get it? Are we good to move on to the next lab? Yes? Okay, great. Okay. Let me go back. But this was good. This is productive. We learned the difference between ands and ors, right? So the lab that we did was 5.11. The other one that I unhid was 5.9. And I picked this one because it looked very easy. So lab 5.9 as it says count input length without spaces, periods, exclamation points, or commas. Okay. So given a line of text as input, output the number of characters, excluding spaces, periods, exclamation points, or commas. Okay. So this looks very easy. All we have to do is, well, most of the work is done for us. We have a string called user text that's declared, and then we get the line. So what's left is that we need to make a for loop that will iterate through every character of the input text, right? We're going to check if that input text is going to be equal to a space or a period or an exclamation point or a comma, and then we're going to tally all of the characters that aren't any of those, and then we output how many characters we found. Okay, so this seems very easy. So so we declared the variable, then we get the line. So the very next thing we need to make a for loop. So who here wants to take the reins and tell me what to type? It's very easy. I'm going to say int I equals, what's it going to be equal to? How many times do I need to iterate? Or well, it's going to be, actually, that's going to be 0, but I is less than. So how many times am I going to iterate? Yeah. Jose Garcia said it in chat. It's going to be, I have to say I is less than the size of the user text. So how do I say that? User text dot. Does anyone remember the function to that gets the size of the string? Size. Yep, like that. And then lastly, I'm going to say I++, because that's what we typically use. Okay, so my index iterates from 0 to the last index of the last character, right? So what am I going to do now? I think I need to make an int variable that keeps track of the characters that aren't space, period, exclamation point, or comma, right? Yes, Jose Garcia, we should initialize a counter. And I'm going to do it outside of the for loop. The reason why we're doing it outside of the for loop is because if we put the, now the reason I'm putting this outside of the for loop is because if we put it inside of the for loop, it would initialize every time we iterated our for loop, which means int counter would always be reset to 0, and we don't want that. So I'm putting the counter outside of the for loop. So okay. So now what? We need to check each character to see if it's not one of the 4 characters that we're not going to count, right? So it looks to me like we're going to make an if statement, right? So how am I going to word this if statement? I would say if user text dot at I does not equal space, and user text dot at I does not equal period, user text dot at I does not equal exclamation point, and user text dot at I does not equal comma, right? Let's put a comment on top so that we remember which characters we're not counting. It was space, period, exclamation point, comma. Period. Okay, so user text dot at I. Now remember, the at function is a function given us by the string library. But you guys already knew that. So once we say that, if it does not equal, the first character is going to be space, right? And I'm going to say and. I will say the exact same thing. But instead of saying space, I'm going to say period, right? Then I'll say and again. Say the same thing, except this time it's going to be exclamation point. And then lastly, say and once more. Say this, and then say comma. Okay, so if the character we're looking at index I is not one of these 4 characters, what are we going to do? We're going to say, we're going to increment the counter by 1, right? Exactly. Like Garcia Jose says in the chat. So we're going to say counter plus plus, like that. So this for loop here would iterate through the entire line of user text, right? Now, if we, so let's see what kind of tests that this is running. So let's say that our input is howdy, right? This is test number 2. So when we put a howdy in, user text is going to be equal to howdy. So what happens as a result is that user text dot size is going to be equal to 5, right? Because, oh, excuse me, 6. Because Howdy has 6 characters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, at the first index, we see H. Now, because H is not equal to space or period or exclamation point or comma, this if statement will evaluate to be true, which means we will increment counter by 1. In the second iteration, we see O. This will evaluate to be true, so we increment the counter again. When we see W, it'll still be true. We increment counter again. We see D. It's still true. We increment counter again. Same thing for Y. It will still be true. We increment counter again. But what happens when we see the exclamation point? Because it's equal to exclamation point, this does not equal exclamation point when evaluate to be false. And because this is false, because we're ANDing it with other statements, it doesn't matter what the other statements are equal to. If we take a false and then AND it with another conditional, it's going to be evaluate to be false. So as a result, when we see the exclamation point, this whole statement evaluates to be false, and we don't increment. Okay. So lastly, the last thing we need to do is output just how many characters we saw. That isn't one of the 4, right? So after our for loop is done, I say we're going to say cout counter end line, like that. And I believe that's it. So show of hands, how many of you guys think that this will work? You think it'll work? I just realized that we could technically get the same output if we reverse everything. Yeah, if we reverse the string, it would be the same output, because even if it's reversed, we were dealing with the exact same group of characters, right?
Well, I meant like reversing the process of everything. Like if we had put the count starting at the user size and literally like flipping all the logic, everything, it should technically, and if we had it decrement the counter, it would technically result in the same thing.
Yeah, if we had counter equal to, yeah, the size of the string, and then we decrement, and then we change these to double equals instead of not equals. Yeah, that would pretty much be the same thing. But that's good. Thanks for pointing that out. It's a good observation. But if we think this will work, we can try it now. So let's submit and see what we get.
Wait, don't you, before the comma, do you need a semicolon? Like before the last one in text?
What line are you referring to, Valerie Mora?
16.
16? Here?
Yeah.
No, you don't need a semicolon after the if statement. Yeah, you don't need that, because that's not part of the syntax of the if statement.
Okay.
Yeah. So what we need is that we need this. We need to see, the compiler needs to see this, and then whatever lines of codes are following it. We do need a semicolon for the lines that's inside of the brackets, but in front of the if statement itself, no. But we can see now that this works, right? So it takes a string counts 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ignores this. 7, 8, 9. Ignore this. 10, 11. Oh, wait, ignore this. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 16, 17, 18. Yeah. Output's 21. This output's 5. Output's 4. But yeah, so that's it in terms of lab. So go ahead and screenshot this or whatever, or put this directly in your iBooks right now so you're not worrying about it later. Did everybody get this?
Yes.
Okay, great. Any questions? Okay, well, these were the only 2 labs that I wanted to show. Now, since we have time left over, I guess I could ask you guys about, we could go over Amir's homework. So
That would be great.
yeah, I briefly, I showed you how to do questions 1 and 2, and then we did 3 together. Did anyone actually complete questions 1 and 2 on the homework using my instructions? Like,
I did.
you did? Okay, great.
Yeah.
Did you have like no trouble with questions 1 and 2?
I don't think so. Let me go.
Okay. You know, I think I actually misplaced the link that shows the homework. Can anyone? Oh, you finished the homework already? Okay, that's good. Okay.
Actually, I think I need help with 2 because I wasn't sure what to do after. I got like a major of it done.
Okay, we can help with that. But
Okay.
before that, can anyone post in the chat the link to homework 2 again? Because I think I lost it. Does anyone have the link to the second homework?
Let me get it.
Okay. Yeah, so okay, perfect. Okay. Then which homework problem was it that you needed help with?
2.
Okay. Go ahead and I'm going to give you permission to share your screen, and we can look at it together. Okay, great. Okay, so this is good. You got a good start so far. So you have an if statement with 3 branches, right?
Yeah.
The first if statement considers when name 1 comes first before name 2 and 3. So that's why on line 15, we see out name 1 first. But now we have to consider which one we're going to output next. Is it going to be name 2 or name 3?
Name 2?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, don't type anything yet.
Oh.
Yeah. So far, that looks good, right?
Okay.
Now, what you actually need to do, since you have that if statement, that code on line 18 will execute if line 16 evaluates to be true, right? But what happens if it's not true? Let's put an else after that's the bracket on
Else.
line 19. It has to be after the.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like that. Go ahead and tab it so that it's on the same
Yeah.
line as, yeah, there you go. And then go ahead and press enter, make a new line. And let's put some opening squiggly bracket and a closing squiggly bracket after that.
Okay.
There you go. So we do that. We do this if name 2 is less than name 3. But what happens if that's not true?
Then it will execute the second branch.
We would need to see out name 3 before name 2.
Oh yeah, right.
So what I'd like you to do, go ahead and copy line 18.
Okay.
Put it inside of the else.
Okay. So inside the brackets?
Yeah, right there.
Okay.
And instead of saying name 2, then name 3, we say name 3, then name 2.
Okay.
But I actually noticed another problem here.
Oh.
Do you notice that you have a semicolon after that and L? Yeah, you gotta get rid of that.
This one?
No, the first and L.
Oh, okay.
No, not that one. After name 2. No.
What's that?
See on line 18, we have C out, name 2, and L.
Oh, right here.
Yeah,
Okay.
shouldn't have that there. You have to do the same thing on line 23 as well.
Yeah, I just noticed. Whoops. Thank you.
Okay, good.
Okay.
So that's it for that if statement, right?
Right.
Let's move on to the next branch.
So for each one, I need another else statement, and then.
Yeah, that's right, because you have to consider every possibility.
Right.
Okay, so for this else if, you said name 2 is less than name 1 and name 2 is less than name 3. So this is the situation where name 2 comes first before name 1 and 3, right?
Right.
So because you know that name 2 comes first between name 1 and 3, obviously we're going to see out name 2 first, right?
Right.
So go ahead and say see out name 2.
Okay, so.
Well, inside the brackets, right?
Right. Name 2.
Uh-huh.
Okay. And then.
Oh, you don't need an end L.
Okay. So then name 3.
Right. Actually, do you? Oh, my bad. You do need an end L. I'm sorry.
Okay, that's what I was thinking. And
Oh, no,
then...
that's it.
Oh, okay.
Oh, no. Delete that chevron and put a semicolon.
Yeah. Oh, I just realized it's like the first one.
Like that.
Okay.
So you see added name 2 first because it came first.
Right.
Now we have to consider what comes next. Is it going to be name 1 or 3? Because those are the 2 that are left, right?
Right.
So we're going to make another if statement.
Okay.
Mhm.
So where do you make it?
No, we're still on that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So if between name 1 and name 3, let's go ahead and say if name 1 is less than name 3.
If Do I need to put parentheses?
Yes, you do.
Okay.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
the syntax of an if
Name one is. This is less than. No, that's greater than.
Yeah,
Okay, 2 or 3?
3. Because we already
Okay.
see
Oh yeah. Name 3, and then.
name 1 is one variable, right?
Right.
So delete this.
Oh wait.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's why I didn't notice that. Thank you.
yeah.
Okay.
Have an opening squiggly bracket.
Right. Hold on, that's not it. There we go.
Do you notice that this is almost exactly the same as the structure that we made for the other ones?
Yeah, I see that.
Okay. So if name 1 is less than name 3, what are we gonna say?
We're gonna we're gonna see out name 3.
No, name 1 because name 1.
Name 1. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so see out name 1, and then end out.
And then name 3 end out, right?
Right. So what they do under here is still in the same line. Okay, so here?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Okay.
Good. So those lines will execute if that evaluates it to be true. What happens if it's false? What if name 3 comes before name 1?
Then would it be name 2 would come out?
No, because we already did
Oh.
name 2.
Okay, then name 3?
So put an else after line 33.
Okay. Hold on.
Else.
Else.
And then put
Squiggle, yeah. Okay. There we go.
now to save time, here's what I want you to do. Copy
Okay.
lines 31 and 32.
Okay.
And just switch name 1 and name 3 around.
Okay.
There you go.
All right.
Now, okay, perfect. Now we just have to deal with the last one, right?
All right.
Now, here, I'm going to save you a little bit of time. What I'd like you to do is copy lines 28 to 38. Yeah, all that.
Okay.
And then put it in there.
Okay.
Because we understand the logic. I'm not gonna. There's no need to talk through it again. Yeah, so paste it in there. Now on line 42, instead of saying name 2, you say name 2. Okay. There you go. Now, on line 43, instead of saying name 1 is less than name 3, we should say name 1 is less than name 2 because those are the 2 that's left.
Yeah.
And then in this situation, we would output 1 and then 2.
Right.
But if it's not true, we would output 2 and then 1.
Right. Okay.
And that looks like it should work now.
Okay.
Would you like to run it and see?
Yeah.
Okay.
So what do I enter?
So we need 3 strings that are in alphabetical order. So probably say Alice, Bob, and Charlie.
What was the first one?
Alice with A-L-I-C.
Okay, Bob, Charlie.
Didn't work.
Huh. It's weird. Oh wait, it's not.
Yeah, say Alice Robin.
Okay.
Okay, that looks like it works. Now,
Okay.
run the program once more, but this time put the names out of order. It should work
Okay.
for you. So maybe put Charlie, Bob, Alice, and it's still sorted. Okay, perfect. Looks
Okay.
like it works now.
Cool.
Okay, so let me see. Is that the only thing you need the help with?
Yeah.
Okay,
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
yeah, no problem. So did anyone else need help with the homework? I know we're over time, but yeah. Hold on, when was this due again? It's due March 9th. Okay, so you still have another week. If anyone has more questions on the homework, we could save it for next meeting. Because since we're over time, I should just call the meeting here. But before I do, did anyone else have any more questions?
Have a nice day.
All right, thank you. Okay, so if no one has any more questions, I'll go ahead and end the meeting now. So thanks for coming, guys. I'll see you Thursday. Goodbye.